Hey guys, Real Life here and welcome back to another episode of Entitled Parents. If you've ever had annoying neighbors doing annoying things, then this story will resonate with you. And if you like this video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you and enjoy. Let me park in your sidewalk or I'll kill your cats. By Reddit user KA Black. Alright, this happened a few years ago. Our longtime neighbors for the house 2 doors at the right sold their house, and after renovations, they got rid of the garden, expanded the living room, added a second floor, fenced the entire house according to another neighbor, put air conditioner in all the rooms. A new family moved in. It was a woman in her mid-40s, her teenage daughter, her son, and their dogs. The mom liked to gossip around and drink with 2 other female neighbors, but apart from the occasional loud laugh at 3 AM on the weekends, we never really had any problems with her. The girl was pretty quiet and I never knew much about her. The brother, on the other hand, see, he was the older one, and as far as we knew, an entitled brat. He didn't work or study, but this dude had 3 brand new cars, and after having them for like 6 months, he'll sell 1 or 2 and buy a new one with the money from the selling, plus some of his mom's money. He'll usually make lots of noise with the engine of his cars and drive around too fast for a suburb street. But what really annoyed my mom was the fact that he parked outside our sidewalk. See, his house only had a parking spot for 1 car, and his mom's very modest car used that spot, so he parked his main car in the sidewalk in front of his house, and the other 2 in the sidewalk of the next door and 2 neighbors to the left, aka my house. Now, I know that sidewalks are public space and there's no rule or law that bans you to park outside a neighbor's sidewalk. Problem was that he'd usually park so close to my house's garage exit that my mom had to maneuver a lot to get in or out of our garage whenever his car was there. And that didn't help that our street is a little narrow. Not to mention when he or his mom had parties and somebody's car was parked in front of our house, or when our front neighbor bought a second car and started parking it in his sidewalk, then it was even more difficult to get inside or outside our garage. And also, why do you have to park outside your neighbor's house when literally a few houses to our left there's 2 empty houses where you can park your car without bothering any of your neighbors? Anyway, since this became a recurring problem, my mom decided to politely ask him if he can park somewhere else, or at least to park not so close to our garage exit, and one day she finally caught him going out of his car. M is my mom, EB is the entitled jerk, and for future reference, EM is entitled mom. Hi there, EJ. Hey there, Dr. M. My mom's a dentist. Listen, EJ, I was wondering if you can park your car elsewhere, or at least if you can avoid to park too close to my garage exit. You see, I've had this problem since... I don't want to park in another place. Why can't I park it here? I was going to tell you, since you park too close to my garage exit, it's a little difficult for me to get in or out of the garage. And it's even more difficult when there's a car parked in front. So as you can see, it's a problem to me. Well, that's not my car. I know it's not yours, but it's really difficult for me. Could you consider at least not to park that close to the exit? Like I said, it's a little difficult for me to get in or out. Well, it's not my fault if you don't know how to drive. Excuse me? You heard me. That was a little rude, don't you think? I don't care. You don't care? Listen here, lady. I want to park here. It's a public space, so that means I can do whatever I want and nobody can say anything about that. All I'm asking is for a little consideration for my problem. Off. Excuse me? EJ gets out of his car and goes into his house. There's literally 3 vacant houses right now in this neighborhood. Why don't you park there? Because I don't want to. It's too far. One is already 3 feet to your right. I already told you to f*** off. And I already told you that your car is a problem to me. EJ goes inside his house. The nerve. My mom was pretty pissed and decided that maybe the best course of action was to talk to the mom, but EJ moved before her. Cut to 3 days later, it's Saturday and I decided to buy a soda in a convenience store close to our house. But as soon as I put a foot outside a garage, I found it. A paper sheet glued with tape on our outside column that in red ink says, "Listen here, your cats are a problem to me. Get rid of them or I'll kill them." I gotta admit, at that time we had too many pets. Outside we had 5 cats, a dog in our backyard, and a cat indoors because she came from my grandma's house and we were afraid she might get lost. But to be honest, all of my outdoor cats were cats that neighbors adopted and later abandoned because either they moved out or just simply kicked out to the streets, and me and my mom have a sweet spot for abandoned cats. Anyway, as soon as I got that awful message, I ripped off the column, went back inside and showed it to my mom. She got furious. She took the paper out of my hands, told me to stay inside, and walked away. I kinda listened to her. I got out to see where she was going, and as soon as I saw her knocking at EJ and EM's house, I went back inside. So I was not there to see or listen to the conversation, more like a fight actually, but my mom told me it went kinda like this. Dr. M, what a happy surprise. I'll wish I can say the same, Mrs. EM. What? Why? What happened? Showing the paper, my daughter found this glued at our wall, and I have reason to think that your son wrote this. What? Impossible. My darling boy would never do such a horrible thing. Sadly, I think he is the culprit. We had an argument the other day after I asked if he could stop parking outside my house since it's becoming problematic to me going in and out of my garage because of how close he parks to my garage exit, and he was pretty pissed about it. He didn't tell you? Well, he did, but I don't think he would threaten your pets even if he was very pissed. Mrs. EM, he told me to f off. He would never, and even if he did this, now it's a family problem. I'll talk to him right now. Since this is a private issue, would you care to leave for now? EJ, going down the stairs to the first floor. Yeah, get out of my house. EJ! Listen here, you little shit. If something happens to my cats or my dog, I'm suing you. Dr. M, please. If you don't get rid of those pests, I promise you'll regret it. EJ! They haven't done anything to you. They piss in the garden all the time. You don't have a garden, you idiot. Well, they make a mess all the time here. How? You own a dog. They're not that stupid to come here if you have a dog. They even avoid my own dog. I don't care. I'll kill all your animals if you don't stop bitching about me parking outside your house. Go to your room, EJ. But Mom... Get out of here, you idiot. Fun fact, I hear EM screaming that. You can guess how pissed she had to be if she screamed that loud. After a few seconds of shock, fine, leaves the room stomping. After that, EM deeply apologized to my mom and assured her that nothing would happen to her cats and that her son would park in another place. My mom accepted her apology and left. But apparently as she was getting out of the house, she could hear that little shit saying one last gem. I don't care what you said, I'm still parking outside that house. EM closing the door. EJ! Of course, faithful to his word, EJ kept parking outside our house. And here comes the petty revenge part. My mom called a cousin of hers and they put an old paint bucket full of rocks on our sidewalk. That thing was pretty heavy even for a man. So finally, that idiot stops parking outside. Now at this point you might be asking, where's the entitled mom part? Well, a few months later, EM had a huge fight with her front neighbor, at this time the only drinking buddy she had at the neighborhood because, what a surprise, the other one had the same problem that us and they got into a fight. Apparently, now EJ parked his car in her sidewalk and had the same problems that we had. Not only that, apparently she had problems with all of the neighbors where EJ parked outside because he was rude to them. As far as we found out, EM kept saying that EJ was a cinnamon too good for this world, too pure, and that all the neighborhoods were against her poor darling. The last straw was when her last friend, the female neighbor of their front door, told her that EJ was doing the same thing to her, and she reacted so badly they went into a huge fight, and EM ended with a black eye and a restriction order. At that point, EJ finally listened to my mom and parked his cars outside the empty houses. But 2 months later, his mom had another fight with her old friend, and after that, they moved out to a better and more exclusive neighborhood. Poor people. 3 months later, a new family moved in, and believe me, they are so much better. Before I forget, the plot twist you see, EJ was 2 years younger than me. You know how old I was when this happened? I was 28. Let that sink in for a minute. Oh my goodness, if this happened to me, that would be a nightmare. Technically, EJ is in the right because he's parking on the sidewalk where it's not illegal to do that. But at the same time, if his car is too long or too big, it's gonna get in the way of people trying to get out of the garage. So it's really hard to stop that as well if they don't want to do that. And I noticed that a lot of entitled parent stories are always mothers or fathers going like, oh, my child would never, or they would never do that, they're angels. Those parents are delusional and the worst to talk to. And it's pretty insane how EJ threatened to kill their cats in retaliation to not being able to park at their sidewalk. Like, that's some pretty insane, extreme countermeasures to that. Anyway, I'd love to hear what you guys think, so please leave a comment below and tell me your opinion of the story. And as always, if you like this video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you and have a great day.